Hey guys, I have an art journal page to share with you today. I cleaned up my art desk and like around my floor and stuff, and I found all these random pieces that I wanted to use up on my page. So I have a mini Daler Rowney sketchbook, and my pages have gesso on them. And then I have some Cosmopolitan pink, Lindy's Stamp Gang, Starburst spray, and some Papa pink Magicals shakers. And I'm just going to activate the Magicals with some water and use my watercolor brush to apply those colors down to my page. And this spread was inspired by a new venture that Finnabair has. I think it's called the Art Daily Cafe, or maybe, I don't know. I will link the blog and everything down below if you want to check it out. Basically, it is to art every day or do something creative every day. Set some time aside for yourself to do something creative. And yeah. Now I have some Lindy's Magicals in Teapot Purple, some Twinkling H2O and Jasmine and Coralberry. And I just wanted to add a little bit more depth of color, some darker colors there to my page. And these pages are inspired by, Finnabair did a promo video for the Art Daily thing. And this page is inspired by the pages I saw in that video. And every month and every Monday there's like prompts, and every month there's like a theme, and this month is like doors opening, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And my girl Dina is on the design team, so that's pretty cool too. So I'm taking all my stamps are by Viva VegaStamps, and this first one says Finding My Way, and then this one here is called Dandelion Scene. And I'm just gonna use some sticky ink to stamp them around my page because I want to do some embossing. I'm gonna take some ultra fine white embossing powder by Ranger and sprinkle that all around my page. And then I'm going to use a heat gun to melt the powder. And it just adds like a little subtle something going on in the background. Next I have a Kerr and Viva VegaStamps stamp. It's like roses or like a cluster of flowers. I'm not sure the exact name, but I will link that down below. And I have some shadow gray archival ink, which is in the mini pad from the Letter It collection. And then I'm going to work on pulling together some of these papers that I had laying around. I'm going to take some micropore tape. It's like first aid tape. I stole it from the first aid kit. And I'm just going to rip strips so it has like not such a straight edge, so it has like a little bit of a stressed edge. And then I'm going to take this piece of paper that I ripped out of a planner, an old planner. And I'm just going to glue it down on the one side and leave those little flappy things like flopping around so they're not stuck down to the page. And then this is some vintage math book text. And then I have this dictionary page, but I don't end up using it, I don't think. But I'm just working on my composition at this point, not sticking everything down, but just trying to work it out and see what I like. And then this is some circle drywall tape, and it's like self-adhesive, so I'm going to take the top part, which is like an off-white color, and then I'm also going to use the brown underpart, like backing, later on. And then I'm going to take some Collage Pauge matte to adhere my dictionary or my vintage math book paper down. And I'm also going to put a layer over the top, and I'm trying to keep that glue just on top of the paper because it is a water-based glue, so I don't want it to reactivate the watercolor inks and sprays and stuff that I have going on in the background. And this sketchbook is, like I said, the Daler Rowney one, and it's actually pretty similar to the mini Moleskine. And I really love the mini Moleskine, but they are pretty expensive. So I actually got this one at Walmart, of all places, and I really like it. But I did see they have it on Amazon, so I'm going to link that down below. And I'm still just applying the stuff. I'm also going to use some clear tacky glue to put some of my elements down. These pieces are really, the background pieces are really inspired by the Finnabair pages that I saw on her video. And then I'm going to take some Dina Wakley white gesso and just kind of apply it over my elements so it kind of pushes those elements towards the background so they're not like so in your face, and so they look a little less like they were just stuck down, so they kind of just kind of blend more into the background. And then once that's dry, I'm going to take some more of the Teapot Purple Magicals and the Papa Pink Magicals and apply that. Well, I'm going to take the purple and put that on my rose stamp and do some stamping with that. You can't really tell what it is, but you can a little bit. It's just a nice little like interesting element going on in the background. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that pink and put that on top of some of the papers as well. And then also I'm going to bring some of that color up towards the top and down towards the bottom so that it brings forward that embossing that we did, so you can see the embossing a little better. And then I'm going to do some more embossing on top of everything that I just did, the paper elements and the second layer of inks that I did. I'm using the same ultra fine white embossing powder by Ranger and the same Finding My Way stamp and Dandelion Seed stamp by Viva VegaStamps. And I'm just using a sticky ink that's actually, I think, supposed to be for perfect pearls. But all sticky ink is the same to me. Doesn't matter to me. So I'm just going to melt that. And actually, no, first, some of the embossing powder got stuck to places that I don't want it. So I'm just going to take a fine paintbrush or a thin paintbrush and brush away some of that loose powder from the areas where I don't want it. I'm not really being like too careful about it because it's just going to add like a little extra in the background. You're not going to notice it. It's not like supposed to be perfect, so it doesn't matter if I get that off completely. And then I'm going to melt that and work on my focal image. I have this die cut from Sizzix and Tim Holtz. It's the Wildflowers, I think it's the first set, so Wildflowers 1. And then a Tim Holtz paper doll and another strip of vintage math book text for her to sit on. And I'm just going to glue everything down with my clear tacky glue. I would prefer to stick the paper doll, since it's a little thicker, I would prefer to stick it down with glossy accents, but it is clogged currently and I cannot get it open. I usually try to like stick a pin or something through it, but it's just really stuck, so I'm gonna have to work that out somehow. So I'm going to add a little piece of that Wildflowers die to the left side where I'm going to stamp the Finding My Way stamp. And I say this all the time. When I stamp something as my focal image or in the foreground, I try to do it like in the background or mirror it some way somewhere else on my page, because I like the way that looks. I like repeating elements and I feel like it brings things together. So I'm going to stamp that Finding My Way on a piece of that vintage math book text. And I just put a piece of craft cardstock behind that vintage paper because it's really thin and fragile and I wanted to make it a little more sturdy. And then I have a row of numbers stamped by Viva Las Vegas Stamps and some of that watering can, no, shadow gray archival ink, and I'm just going to do a little random stamping around, and I'm also going to do some more stamping with that Cat Kerr rose stamp. I'm just going to stamp a little section of that around my page. And that's it for my page. Be sure to check out the new Art Every Day venture going on. It's pretty awesome stuff. I'm going to try to do something creative every day for the month of November. That's my goal. And supplies and products I used are listed and linked in the description box below. If you liked my video, you could give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, or subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. That would be cool. And thank you so much for watching. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.